And I remember hearing her music for the first time and thinking like, oh my God, there's someone who thinks about the world in the same way that I do. And I'd never encountered that before. So to get to open for her and to meet her and talk to her was, that changed my life. That was like, I've done it. I don't know what it is, but I've done it.
Last dinner party, welcome to Amsterdam.
Thank you.
How are you feeling? Because this is like the rock and roll lifestyle. You just had like a delayed flight, a cancelled flight, and just...
It was because we were fighting on the plane. We delayed it.
Yeah?
We had a scrap. Yeah. We're all really fucked right now.
The headlines that you read like every time, like annoying people on the plane.
Yeah.
You are
That's us.
Yeah.
We also clap when it lands.
Yeah. Was that the idea of starting a band, to have this rock and roll lifestyle, to be like fighting on airplanes and everything?
Yeah, exactly. And the music kind of came after the personas and the
We hate music.
The free beers is what it's all about, actually.
First of all, congratulations, of course, on My Lady of Mercy. You did this brief explanation on Instagram, for example, in the description with, it's a song about being a girl. Can you explain a little bit more what the song is about?
Well, basically, it's about having feelings for women as a woman, and coming to terms with that, growing up in a very Catholic family and school, and having simultaneous feelings of excitement and discovering yourself and, all of that, but also a lot of shame and fear and guilt. So I kind of wrote it being like, to try and free that part of me that was, proud of it and exploring it through Catholic imagery rather than hiding away from it, using it for my own kind of gain.
I read some comments or like a description on Genius about Sinner, the song as well, that people also added like there's also a layer of queerness and the feeling of guilt in it as well. To me, it sounded like it refers to the same theme as you explained. Like
Accidentally.
And accepting.
We wrote songs on similar themes. I also grew up in a Catholic church, not so intensely. I wasn't at a Catholic school and stuff, but it was a big part of my childhood. And also growing up in the north of England, kind of in the countryside, quite small town, small-minded to an extent. Apart from Hebden Bridge, which used to be the lesbian capital of Europe. Yup.
Slay.
Not that I knew it at the time, but like now I know, which is great. But I think it's about moving to London and feeling a sense of freedom and being able to come into myself as a person. But then it comes with a loss of like the person I was as a child growing up doesn't feel close to me anymore, which is sad. But also, maybe through accepting myself, I can marry those two things back together. So that's kind of what the song is about. It's about trying to find that joy in self-love and self-acceptance with all parts of myself and my whole history.
Yeah, because I can imagine it's hard, like looking back on youth and like maybe the feelings or the thought that came with that and came with.
But also such a beautiful time and a beautiful place that I grew up as well. So lots of conflict in there. Yeah.
How do you cope with that?
I think having a sense of family here as well as a family at home. Sounds like I've got a cold. I'm not actually really good. I've got a cold. I think it's finding your people and feeling at home in yourself, so you can take your home wherever you go. But also, I think having a bit of a thick skin and just being able to take the positives, like going home, just enjoying it as it is, not trying to change it, and enjoying London and my life in the city, and not trying to change that and make that more like my hometown is. Just let things be and let me hold what I need in myself, and I can take that wherever I go. I could go around the world with it, I'll be fine.
Amen, that's beautiful.
I wish I knew you back when we were both small. I wish I knew you, but I have gotten too tall. I wish I knew you when touch was innocent.
First of all, the Last Dinner Party is a live band.
Yes.
It's super important to have the experience, to have everyone involved.
Yes.
One of you referred to it as a feral hype, or something like that. It was such a beautiful description. So please explain to me how do you, what do you want to achieve when performing, when giving the live shows?
It comes from, firstly, us 5 wanting to achieve some kind of catharsis and joy and ecstasy and expression on stage, and then the wonderful thing is that it then spreads to the audience, and so you can stand in the crowd and feel like you can let something go or be understood or cry or laugh or scream, and it's kind of a group catharsis and euphoria, which is, I think, what people really want and really need, because I think we noticed that when we'd go to gigs, that's the things that were most appealing, is that kind of feeling of, you know, release, and that you've really sweated something out. So I think that's nice that we could do it.
And a question to all of you, like, is there one memorable gig that comes to your mind immediately if you think of like an example, maybe in terms of a role model, but just a gig that kind of changed your life because of how the atmosphere was, how the vibe was?
A life-changing gig.
Yeah, life-changing gig.
For me, I would say we opened for Florence The Machine in Cork in Ireland. She's someone that I've looked up to for a very, very long time, like since I was probably 10. And I remember hearing her music for the first time and thinking like, oh my God, there's someone who thinks about the world in the same way that I do. And I'd never encountered that before. So to get to open for her and to meet her and talk to her was, that changed my life. That was like, like I've done it. I don't know what it is, but I've done it.
And you were able to have a chat with her.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. So that, I would say that was like a really like pivotal moment in my life.
Yeah.
Do you have a favourite one, a life changer? Do you have a life
I
changing
think it was, to be honest, one of the really early ones, because it was the first moment I realised, people are actually responding to this, and like we're sharing something with people, and that's really beautiful. I think it was maybe XOYO, and like it was such a good gig, and like
please describe it to me. What was it like?
I don't know, like just I think it was the biggest show we'd done at that point, and like there's just lots of people there, and people were kind of dressed a little bit like us, and it felt like there was a community starting to build.
That was the Walt Disco. So we supported Walt Disco.
Wow.
Yeah, so this was like, at the moment, it was the biggest moment in our careers that we could ever imagine. We loved this band, Walt Disco, and they did a call out on their Instagram for their UK tour. They were getting local bands to support each city. And so we'd like put our name in for the London one, being like, I'm sure there'll be loads of people. Like, we've only done like 2 gigs or whatever, ridiculous. And then we got it, and I've got a video of us like, wow, screaming. We'd love to have you open for us. And like, we all called each other and we're just like, down the phone, because they were a huge inspiration for us, because they were one of the first bands that were going against that kind of post-punk t-shirt and jean angry thing, because they still, but you know, when they first came out, they were dressing very flamboyantly and expressively and kind of, you know, doing this theatre, you know, and Jocelyn's vocals are so operatic and like huge inspiration for us. So to open for them was like such a dream come true.
Yeah.
Stream Walt Disco.
Oh, shout out. And I was wondering, you mentioned it briefly a little bit, like the dress code that you guys sometimes put up for the fans, for the visitors of the gigs. Like on the club tour, you've put on like, this is the way, please, you could dress tonight. What was the best dress code so far?
Glam rock. I think for us, it was glam rock, because I think it was really, we got to fulfill a massive kind of teenage childhood fantasy of being rock stars, like literally, like of feeling like we were David Bowie and like having this whole like big. So that was really cool. But I feel like fan-wise, I mean, everyone was like I remember looking out the front row and just seeing everyone dress up, and I was like, God, they're dressed better than us. Like, people put so much effort into their costumes for every single one.
Talking about dress codes, rock and roll, you're also on the, I don't have to say, I can say like FIFA soundtrack. That's the right name. Included in the EA Sports soundtrack. That's what I wanted to say.
Oh hey, didn't see you there. We're the last dinner party, and we're so excited
excited that our song Nothing Matters is going to be featuring on the EA Sport 24 FC soundtrack. Welcome to the club.
Goal!
So, who of you is the best football player? Soccer player?
We've never played soccer.
We don't like sports.
At all.
No, I love football. I can't play it, but I do love football. And I grew up like with my little brothers, like
Having a kick about.
but also playing EA FC video game. So yeah, that was quite surreal to be like, because the songs on that soundtrack are like really iconic. People have like whole, uni night discos just about the soundtrack for that song. So for like a whole generation of teenagers, it would just be like Nothing Matters is a soccer song.
Yeah. All the most recent comments on Nothing Matters are FIFA!
Really? Like, iconic goal.
Yeah, literally. I scored a goal to the guitar solo.
Oh, so what's next on the bucket list? Like,
Call of Duty.
just game soundtracks.
Yeah. That's where the money is.
Yeah.
Oh, I think like a film, original film score, or like an EP. One of my favourite pieces of media is Submarine, and the original Alex Turner EP that he did for that.
But something in your magnetism hadn't just made him drop. Whoever's hand it was that he was holding.
Oh my god.
That's the dream.
So yeah, doing like an original EP or a film score or
Yeah,
something.
but what kind of movie would it be?
Just horror.
Horror would be so fun.
We want to do like a folk horror.
Just like the soundtracks of horror films have been so iconic over the years, and I think that like out of any kind of genre, when I think of good original scores, I think about horror, and I feel like that would be so, because you like use orchestral instruments in a really subversive way, like you make a violin sound absolutely terrifying. So I think definitely would love to do a horror.
I think you can get the most like visceral response from people from horror soundtracks, and like the most like, I think like the good thing about horror movies is when they're done well, they can really strip people down to some really base emotions. I think fear is one of the most like useful emotions in unlocking your kind of psyche, and I think directors like Ari Aster and Luca Guadagnino are so good at it because it's beyond a jump scare. It's it gets into this innate, I don't know why I'm going off on a tangent, I went to film school. But I feel like doing a soundtrack for a horror film would be a good one, would be like really good.
Good. That's so cool. So in a couple of minutes after the last interview, we'll be like running to Paradiso for the London Calling Festival. What are the last like preparations in terms of getting ready? What's favorite girl dinner for a last dinner party?
Girl dinner.
Please share it with me.
Loads of crisps.
Crisps.
We eat too many crisps.
Hummus.
Rubbish diet.
Yeah, we've got ginger shots now.
Ginger shots and
Chips. Vogue, blues.
Always have a pint of Guinness.
Wine.
And the coincidence, I will be your like after party DJ at the
Oh, slay!
Yeah.
What are you gonna play?
that was going to be my question. Like, what should be in the last dinner party after party
We have
playlist?
some talking heads.
Of course.
I always love hearing Grimes.
She's on the
Yes.
playlist as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know. Confidence man.
Yeah. On and on and yeah.
Yep.
Mic drop. You could do a mic drop. That's like, whoa. Yeah, cheer, yeah. She's on there as well. Oh, so good.
Amazing taste.
Yeah.